Hello, welcome to chapter 16 of the third treatise of A Course of Love. And the title of this chapter is Willingness, Temptation, and Belief. We start with verse 1. Willingness to live by the truth is the only offering you are asked to make to God. This is so crucial. I remember back in A Course in Miracles when it was stated that the only thing that you have to offer is all it will take, is what it says, is a little willingness. And I clung to that idea, a little willingness, because sometimes that's all I had. And I've come to know that willingness is not only something that we can give, it's the only thing of value we have in this experience. What else do you have that's of any value to offer but your willingness? You don't need to give anything else. Do not apply effort. Do not struggle to create a new world, make things better. Do not come up with a plan. You don't even need to know what the new world will look like. None of it. All you need to do is be willing, because you're already accomplished. And when you're willing, you start to experience that and then live that out in your human visible experience. You are more content and happy, more peaceful and free of fear than you've ever been. If you really look, you'll see that that's true. A hope has been instilled in you for the changes you need to reflect the new self you have become. Aren't we so grateful that this world isn't what we thought it was? It's so much better than that. And isn't there like a new hope? Like, wow, it wasn't the way I thought. There's something new and so much better here. Verse 7 reminds us, you are already accomplished. You're already what you sought to be. You're already that, it's done. This is a difficult concept to grasp at first, but if you're experiencing a lag in time, know that the change must occur within. So you're already accomplished, but this is an inside job, recognizing that. In order to live by the truth, you must stop struggling to be other than who you actually are. You may be hanging on to an old pattern of dissatisfaction with yourself. That's what keeps us from really having the experience of who we actually are, is when our conditioning has laid down a track within us that we believe, an idea, that we're not lovable, we're not good enough, we are not blank enough, and we believe those things. So this change, I know I keep harping on it, it's because people don't really get it, and we need to be reminded over and over. It's an inside job. It comes from loving ourselves. Verse 8. The key to resisting these temptations, and he's talking about the temptations to cling to your old ideas, is not resistance at all, but the idea that you are already accomplished. Keeping this idea in the forefront of your mind and heart will aid the translation of this aspect of the ego thought system to the thought system of the truth. So it's already there. All you have to do is connect with it. That's what he's saying. And how do you connect with it? You have to go within. So we take the first law of love now in verse 9. Giving and receiving are one in truth. This means whatever you think you're lacking, you're not giving. If you think you're lacking money, you're not going to be giving anybody money. If you think you're lacking in attention, you're not going to be giving anyone attention. If you think you're lacking in love, you're not going to be giving love. But you're not being asked to do without. You're being asked to give up old patterns of dissatisfaction in order to give and receive freely. So this is really cut loose by loving yourself, by recognizing who you actually are, and that who you actually are is totally, totally perfect. And from that place, then you can experience the abundance that's actually been yours all along. There is no such thing as lack. Even when you want to experience lack and you think you've created lack, lack exists, therefore there's no lack of lack. See what I'm saying? There's so much available to you. The world is so abundant to you that whatever you think you have, you have. Even if that includes lack, there's an abundance of lack. So it's at that point that it's important for us to, make your choice consciously. There is no loss but only gain within the laws of love, verse 11. Have no fear of loss. Again, not possible. Fear of change and of consequences is your greatest detriment to living in truth. Fear robs you of your certainty and creates a lack of trust. So the only way you can fear something is if you believe that you can be harmed. And once you really experience the fact that you're creating your experience, you're the one who's doing it, then you can't really be afraid of it. The key is not to resist your fears when they arise, but to remind yourself that you can trust what arises, because no loss is possible. Everything that's happening to you is being created. So how is that loss? That's only abundant, because you have access to all that is, because you are the divine creator and you are creating this experience now. Verse 13, special relationships have been replaced by holy relationship. Your only relationship is with the truth. As you let go of expectations, desires, and fears, all of those are ideas again, ideas that don't serve us. As you move past wanting to protect or control your relationships, you can represent who you truly are in truth. So as you let go of where this relationship needs to go, what this other expression needs to be doing, as we release those things and love ourselves and love what's showing up on our screen, then you become more and more and more who you actually are. When you share your true self in your relationships, you will see the truth of who others are, rather than the illusions you were trying to make them into. And this is the most loving thing that you can do. And it's important for us to really see that, because when we are in relationship with someone and we feel like the relationship is based on certain expectations, certain bonds we have, the structure of the relationship that we've established. We feel like, wow, if I turn and put all this juice into myself, then I'm not going to be available for my partner. And that's not a very loving thing to do. Or my child, or my parent, or whomever. But that's actually the most loving thing you can do. Because when you turn within yourself and establish a loving relationship with yourself and with your highest self, you're able to really show up in the relationship, show up as who you truly are. And then you can just look right past all that other human, and I don't mean to say that in a derogatory way, the character self, anything that's being misrepresented in this other reflection of yourself. So then it really becomes holy, because it's capital S self relating and reflecting in capital S self. Whew. That's where the power comes into relationships. That's where love really happens. That's what'll blow the roof off the house. Verse 10. Illusion is made of parts that do not form real connections, but only seem to have the ability to build upon each other. Let one part go, and soon all the remaining parts will crumble into the dust from which they came. The cement that was used to hold together the house of illusion was only your fear. So when we let go of the fear that any harm can happen to us or the one we love or the relationship itself, when we let go of that and we recognize that, wow, I'm not this little tiny separate helpless being. I'm the divine expressing in this unique way. And whatever happens, happens because I created it. And I'm completely safe. So I can let go of all fear, and suddenly I can see things as they truly are. Representing who you are in truth will create a new heaven on earth. I mean, it may seem weird that that would actually happen in the world from one person, but recognize that you're creating your world. You've always been creating your world. So when you change and you represent who you are, your world has to change. It has to, because you're creating it. And no one you love will suffer from the changes your new self will create. Nobody, no character, no other being, not just the character, but the other beings, is going to suffer from this. Because there is no loss. Loss, lack, doesn't exist. We live in a world of abundance, and you are creating from that abundance. And when you recognize that you are the creator and you own that, everybody will prosper. Verse 17. What forms the house of truth is love eternal, and it has always encompassed you, even unto encompassing the house of illusion that you made to obscure it from yourself. And you know what else? There's nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with the house of illusion. It was all part of what you created. It's not a bad thing you did. It's not a mistake. It's part of what you created. Except that now you're becoming aware of it. Woohoo! Good for you. And now it's time for you to recognize, oh, wait a minute, this is just really limited compared to what's really going on here. I don't want to stay within this limitation, within this like false little world within a world. I'm ready to leave this once and for all.